All right, obviously we've seen a fair amount of haze and smoke over this past week around the Vail Valley due to that fire, that forest fire south of Kremling up near Radium. And we're going to find out more about that fire and the Breckenridge fire right now. I've got Paul Cada with the Vail Fire Department. Paul, thanks for coming in.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for all you guys are doing out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a busy time for you. It must be, huh?
Summer is very busy for sure.
Tell us about both of the fires so people can be educated on what's happening, the status of them.
Yeah, so we currently have 2 fires burning, within kind of close proximity to the valley. The biggest one being the Getzler fire, which is about 13 miles south of Kremling in the Radium area. That fire is burning in a relatively remote area. There's some roads and ranches and stuff like that in that area. But that one's been burning for a number of weeks now, actually.
No kidding.
Really? The 4th of July, as we were getting ready for the fireworks, you could see that was a day that had some pretty good activity. So, and the way that the wind was blowing, the smoke blew right into the Vail Valley. I know there was quite a few people that were fairly concerned, but smoke can travel a pretty good distance. I know we had some folks up in the Piney area, and it was pretty smoky up in the Piney area. There was some ash falling, but really nothing of much danger. But certainly got people's attention.
And where is that fire at in terms of containment? Is it under control now, and just kind of you guys are in the process of shutting it down?
So it's a Forest Service fire. They have a lot of resources actually involved in suppressing that fire. Big fire like that, it's almost 1,000 acres in size. Takes a long time to put out. My feeling on that is we'll be seeing smoke kind of on and off for at least a couple more weeks on that fire. And then the other fire that was going started last Wednesday was the Peak 2 fire. And that certainly got people's attention. So the Peak 2 fire was in the Breckenridge area, and that started on the 5th. In the first few hours, it went from a very small fire to approximately 84 acres in size.
And is that rapid growth is because of, you told me before, a couple factors that really play into it?
Yeah. So that's really a couple things. One is an abundance of fuel. The area where that fire was has a lot of down and dead material from the pine beetle from the last number of years. It's once again not near roads, so firefighters couldn't get in there. When the fire was first reported, it took about an hour for the first firefighters to hike into that fire. So it had a little bit of time to get going. And really the big one on that, middle of the day, it had some pretty good winds. Had some thunderstorms that were in the area. Those thunderstorms put out some pretty good wind, and that was, the fire at first blew to the south, which was really concerning to the fire officials over there. That's when they did evacuations. As the cell passed by, the wind switched and pushed it to the north. Pushing it more towards the hospital, which they were focusing on that side. And then kind of as a stroke of luck, another cell came through and pushed the fire back south, kind of pushing it back into itself, which is when the activity really died down for the night there. So over maybe a 6-hour period, that fire did make a really significant push. But one of the things that I see as a huge success in that is that relatively large fire, no firefighters or public were injured, hurt, no houses had any threat to them. That community over there has been extremely proactive. They've done a lot of thinning of the forest. They've practiced doing evacuation, stuff like that. So, as scary as that situation was, looking at it, there was a lot of things that helped the firefighters be comfortable with the situation they were in.
So that one now, along with the fire up near Radium, they're both under control, for the most part, would you say?
Yeah, they're certainly bringing them into control. The Peak 2 fire has not really grown in size in the last few days. There's a number of firefighters putting it on. I was over in that area yesterday, not really much smoke visible. So. They're making really good, progress on those fires.
Joe, man, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and for everybody for containing all this stuff. It gets a little crazy around here. Just be educated if you're going to go out and if you're going to do some camping. You can have a fire in a designated fire area, but if you're going into the backcountry, do not make any fires. We're going to take it out to Claire next. She has a look at your weather forecast for the day.